Hey guys, welcome to day two. So today is gonna be another wholesome day. So I wanna believe you guys are so excited to learning one or two things today. So today we are gonna be talking about variables and we are gonna be talking about assignment. But before we move ahead to variables and assignment, we are gonna be learning some fundamental things that forms the basic building block to a variable or anything relating to an assignment. Before you can actually do an assignment, you need to understand what we call data types. Now, data types are fundamentally grouped into three. So we have the integer, we have the float, and we have the double. So an integer is basically any number without a decimal point. Any number without a decimal point. So 2000 is an integer. 2005 is an integer. 2020 is an integer. Alright, but when I have 2020.0, then 2020.0 is no longer an integer, is now a float. In other programming languages, it's called either a float or it's called a double. Alright, so let's get started. So Python identifies all of all these things. So for example, if I say 1 and I press enter, Python recognizes 1 to be an integer, so it outputs to you 1. So if I say 2 and I press enter, it recognizes 2 as an integer. So if I say 2002, it recognizes 2002 as an integer. What if I say 2002.4? It recognizes it because it's a float. Now, say what if I say um, emphasize, right? And I press enter, it's going to give me an error because it doesn't know what that emphasize is. Yeah, so how do I make Python know that emphasize is actually a name? So that is what we call strings. And how do you represent strings? You represent them either as a single quote or as a double quote. So as a single quote like this, or as a double quote like this. Alright, so if I want Python to recognize emphasize, I'll use emphasize and I press enter, then it recognizes it. Now, how will I know that yes, this is actually a string? So there's an inbuilt function in Python called type, type. Now, if you look at it, the moment you enter type, discover that this becomes green. All these are inbuilt functions. They are functions that you can't you have to be very careful on the you have to be very careful of the way you use them. All right. So once I say type emphasize, it says this is a string. Are you following? All right. What if I say type 1? It says this is an integer. What if I say type 5.0? It says this is a float. Alright, now let's move on to what we actually want to learn today. So I want to believe you understand all of all these things. What we want to learn today is what we call variables and assignment. Alright, so now the reason why we are talking about variables and assignment is because when you begin to write your programs, you need something that needs to hold a particular value for you, or you need something that makes reference to a particular value for you. Alright, and that's the reason why we make use of what we call variables. And what makes that variable to actually hold that value for you is what we call the assignment. Alright, so for example, I can say my age is equals to 45. Now 45 is actually an integer, isn't it? So once I press enter, now my age here is a variable, and then 45 is an integer. So now my age, once I ask Python what is my age, it tells me my age is 45. Do you all get it? Now the same thing goes to type. If you do type my age, it's going to return integer because now my age is now inheriting the properties of what 45 stands for, using this assignment operator equals to. Now what makes my age 45 is because there's an assignment operator, and that's what we're trying to talk about, assignment. All right, so we are assigning 45 to my age. We are making my age to become 45, to hold the number 45. So what if I want to have my name, my name is Boluwatife. Now, if I press enter and I ask Python, what is my name? Python says my name is Boluwatife. Right. Now, what if I ask what is my name as a type? It says, it should tell me it's a string. Now, that's it. It's a string. Do you all get it now? So we have strings, floats, integers, we have names and the likes. Now your strings can be a single entry. It can be a lot of characters like ABC, whatever. It can be whatever you want it to be. All right. So um, this way we're going to end our tutorial for today. So I want to believe you've been able to learn one or two things about variables and assignments. Thank you, and then see you tomorrow.